Hello, friends. Welcome to another episode of the Inventory Management Application Design tutorial from scratch using Node, Express, Postgres from scratch. In this tutorial, we are building a robust, maintainable, and scalable inventory management application from scratch, which follows the MVC structure, model view controller structure. In this tutorial, we are building the inventory management system step by step. So first we build the authentication schema and the corresponding routes. Next we build the product schema and next the product routes. You can check the full playlist link in the top right corner so that you can follow along. And in the previous video we covered the purchase order flow. I described the purchase order flow. I designed the schema for the purchase order and next added the corresponding routes for the purchase order. You can also check the link of this video in the top right corner. And today we'll dive into the sales order. So I will explain the relationship between the different actors in the sales orders, like the buyer or the customers, and next the sales manager, inventory manager, and the finance manager. And next I will write the model controller for the sales order. And as usual, finally I will debug and test all of the APIs using Swagger, and I will show you hands-on how the APIs of this sales order works. So let's get started. So first, quickly let me brief about the sales order. So a sales order is a document or record created when a customer places an order to buy products or services. It tells your business what the customer wants, how much they want, and how they want to pay. Now, if I come to the sales order flow, you can see the sales order flow will be like this. You can see it is in the screen. But if I explain with the real world example, it will be easier for you to understand easily. So suppose a customer places an order on an e-commerce website like Myntra, Amazon, or any online store. So the customer visit the online clothing stores and orders 2 t-shirts and 1 pair of jeans. So customer selects cash on delivery and submits the order. And next step, the sale order will be created automatically. So when the customer will click place order to the system will create a sale order in the backend. Records a user ID, selected products quantity, and the total price, and mark the order status as pending. Next step, will have the inventory manager will prepare the goods. The warehouse team receives the orders, picks 2 t-shirts and 1 pair of jeans, packs them for delivery, and update the order status to preparing. Next step, will have the sales manager will generate the invoice, and invoice is auto generated and attached to the package. The order status will be updated to the invoice. And next step, we will have the delivery and the payment processing. The delivery guy hands the package to the customer. The customer will pay in cash. The finance manager marks the order as paid. And next steps, we will have the systems updates the inventory. Stocks for the 2 t-shirts and 1 jeans is reduced in the inventory database. The order will be marked as completed. So this is the entire flow in real world. So now if I talk about the benefits of this sales order flow, so why is it important? Keeps track of all the sales, helps manage inventory and the delivery, makes billing and the payment easier, useful for reports and the business growth. Now I will go to the sales order schema. So if I talk about the sales order schema, so let me open the sales order table. So here is the sales order table. So sales order schema basically consists of 2 main tables, the sales order and the sales item. So basically the sales order represents each sales order. So if you see, we have the ID, buyer ID, total amount of the sales, and the notes, additional notes, the current status like the pending, preparing, invoice, paid, packed, delivered, timestamp, and the sales item which represents the line items in a sale order. So here you will see the sale order foreign key reference the sales ID in the sales table, and we have the product table reference like the product ID, and we have like the rate, quantity, and amount. Now I will go to the database relationship. So if I talk about the database relationship, you can see there we have the sales order contains the buyer ID, which is the foreign key reference of the users table, and the sale item contains the sale ID, foreign key reference of the sales table, sales orders tables, and the product ID, foreign key reference of the products tables. So here we have the relationship between the buyer and sales order is the main one-to-many relationship. One buyer can have multiple sales orders. And if I talk about the sales order to sales items relationship, which is again the one-to-many, one sale order can contains the multiple sales items. So here you can see it's the next the product and the sales items. So basically there is also the one-to-many. A product can appear in the multiple sales items. Now I will jump to the VS Code and write the migration script for the sales order and the sales item. So here inside the database directory and the migration directory, you can see we have the create user, create products, the purchase order, and here we'll create the sales order migrations file. So first I will change directory to the database, pt database. To create the migration file for the sales order, the command is the Knex migrate :make sales orders sales order table. So the migrations file created. Next we have like the sales items. So for this I'll have the sales items table. It's also created. Now I'll go to the sales order table migration script, and here I'll write the migrations for the sales order table. So other than the sales order and the sales item, if you see the our tables, the sales order, we have the currency ID, the currency foreign key reference. The currency is the master tables, which will contains all the currencies, all possible currencies, and the corresponding IDs and the currency symbols. And in the sales item tables, we have the unit foreign key reference tables. Unit is the master tables, which will contains all possible units and their symbols. So we'll create those. So for this, I will create the next migrate :make currency table. Currency table. And next the unit table. Make table. So I'll write the script for the units and the currency table. So I have written the migration script for the currency and the units. But here we have one problem. The sales order and the sales item tables are the dependence of the currency and unit. So we have to first create the currency and units table. After that, we will create the sales order and the sales item. But if you check the timestamp, it's before the currency and the unit. So I will delete them and I will recreate them, the sales order and the sales items. So let me delete it and recreate it. Next, migrate : sales orders table. Next items : sales items tables. Now if you see, it's in proper order. Now I'll write the script for the sales order and the sales items. So I have also written the migration script for the sales order and the sales items. So I'll put all whatever we are writing the code in this tutorial. I will put the Git repository link in the description section of the video so that you can find and pull and can put as a reference when you will do practice. So now I will migrate those. So the command is the next migrate colon latest. Let me go to the terminal. So let me open the terminal and put the command to migrate those tables. Next migrate colon latest. So I have to go to the data state. The command is the next migrate colon latest. And here you can see it's batch 3 runs and the 4 migrations. Now if I go here and list all the tables, so you can see we have the currency tables, we have the units tables, sales orders, and the sales items. So let me check the sales items. We have to put the return here and to run it. So already up to date it's showing. So let me check the migrations file. So if you see the migrations file is already added records for the sales item tables. We have to remove it. So delete from next migration where ID equal to 23. I am picking the row for the sales items. Now I'll run the next migrate colon latest. So it will pick this sales items tables. So you can see it's run one migration. Now I'll check the tables /tt and you can see we have the sales items tables. If I quickly show you the schema, the currency we have the code name exchange rate and same for the units. We have like the name abbreviation and next the purchase orders. So we have the purchase order tables details. We need the seed data for the currency and the unit. So I'll put the seed data. So if you see here, we in our seeds directory we have the data. So and we have the script for this. So I will create the file like the units dot source from and currency purchase. So if you see, I have added few currency seed data here for the USD, Euro, GBP, Indian rupees, etc. Next, I will put for same for the units. So here we have the seed data for the units like the kilogram, gram, liter, milliliter, piece, box. Now I will make file for the seed units and the seed currency. So the command is the next seed colon make seed currency. And next the seed units. So I'll go to the seed currency here. So it's just like the seed users. We have to first import the currency and next we have to do these things. So I'll copy it here and seed currency. Don't need that. So I'll paste it here. Here const currency data.currencies.json. Let me check. It's the same directory. It's data currency.json. So currencies First, I will delete all the existing records and next I will insert to the currency table. Same for the seed units. First, I will import this units, required units, and next the next units and insert into units. So next I will run the sheet. So first let me check if anything we have in our table. So let me clear it. Select start from currency. We don't have any. And for units also have 0 rows. Let me run the seed. The command is the next seed colon run. Next seed colon run. So the currencies does not exist. Let me check the currency. It will be the currency. Then we'll go there. Units is good. Next run it. Currency is not defined. Currencies. So you can see it's ran 4 seed files. Now I check the currency. We have the currency and the units. So we have the units. So it's good now. Next I will go to Next, I will start writing the model, controller, and the routes for the purchase orders. So here in the src directory, I will go to the models. I will create the files for the models. So the file will be sales order issue dot models model.js. So first we'll import the database connection db required. So we already have there, so I will copy it. And next I will define the class so, and here to create ISO and line items payload will contain single ISO and multiple line items. So I'll create this for. So here you can see the cost line items and the ISO data. So we'll get, and first we have to insert into the sales order tables, and next we have to grab the sales orders ID and we have to put it into the sales order. This will be the sales items tables. So here put next transaction and apply rollback if error happen. So I want to put the two insertion into our transactions. So if anything error happens, it will roll back all the transactions, like it will not create anything like the sales order or the sales items. And if everything goes fine, it will create all the sales order and the sales item, and next it will commit the database. So it's good for now. The create sales orders, sales items. So next thing we'll have the get sales order. So lists will list of sales all with their associated products and customers. So here we have this query, the sales order, and the sales items will have the sales orders ID. So I'll join the sales items tables with the sales order to get the sales items, and next we have the joins with the products tables. The sales items contains the products table, so that's why it's joined with the product. So here you can see the joining clause, the sales item, products item, and the products.id, and next we have the users join to get the buyer ID. So here we have the sales orders, product name, and here we have the user's customer full name. Next we have get SOI ID and the associated products and the customer. So here it is. It will be similar. So other than it will take the parameter ID, the ID for which it will fetch the sales order. And next we'll have the update. Update is so when it on draft status. So I'll update the sales order only when it's in the draft status. So for their crossed check the the status is dropped. So here it is. We'll first check. We'll get the get by ID. So we'll first check the status. If its status is not dropped, then we'll throw the error and we'll not do any update on the sales orders. Otherwise, we'll do the update. And next, we'll have the update ISO status. So here it is, the update ISO status. So for the update status, we don't need to check anything. We can just update the status. And next we'll have the delete SO and its line item. So here we'll have also the transactions. First we'll do the delete for the sales items, and next we'll delete for the sales orders, because the sales item contains the reference of the sales order. So first we can't delete the sales order, and it's actually in the same functions we are doing the multiple transactions in the database. That's why we need to do transactions here, and the commit and the rollback mechanism. If anyone fails, then we'll fail the entire operations. So for now it's fine. The model for the SO, I will export it, module.export new SO. Next, I will go to the controller and I will create the controller for the sales order. So the name will be the so.controller.js. And similarly for the PO controllers, I will export the model and the success and the error response. So const so equal to require models so model and the success and the error response here. And here the export dot get SOs. So here we'll have the await so dot get all. So we take the all SOs. Next we'll have the get SO by ID So I will get the ID from the request params and I will provide to the SO gateway ID. So to get the particular sales order. Next we'll have the create SO. So for the create SO, so I'll go here in the sales order. We need the buyer ID, total currency ID, buyer ID, total currency ID. So here we have to include the buyer ID, product ID, customer ID, buyer ID, product ID, the quantity, status, price, quantity. So here create SO, we'll take payload of sales order and array of sales items. So here we'll have this like if I go to the database migration sales orders. So sales order tables, I'll have the buyer ID, currency ID, notes terms status will be pending, packed and delivered. And add it to the copilot. And next I'll give information to the copilot that what is the sales items so that it can make a decision how to write it. So here it puts the transactions there, but we have to pass here. Basically pass to the model create. So prepare the data and pass to notary create. Here it is. So it's good for now. So you can see from the API we'll get the buyer ID, currency ID, notes, terms, status, and the sales items array. And user ID will get from the request users. And here we'll prepare the data for the sales order like the buyer ID, currency, notes, status. If status is not provided, by default it will be pending. And next we'll prepare the line items. We'll map it to the product ID, quantity, rate, unit, amount. And here we'll call it next calculate the total amount for the sales order. So the total amount, so ISO data total amount will provide it. Will provide because the here we have the total. So the ISO data total will be the total amount. So it's good for now. Data we have like this. So when we'll debug, we'll make further changes. So right now I'm writing the code, whatever approach I decided, I think about. So according to it, and when we'll debug, we'll make the corrections if there is any error happens during the create SO, get SO by ID, get SOs, those things. So next we'll have the update also for this exports update SO, and it will be like this. So GitHub Copilot already get the details how we are creating the sales order. According to it, it's actually written the code for the update SO. You can see here we'll get the SO data and the line items which we need to update, and here similarly we'll prepare the data and we'll provide here, and according to it will update there. So also good. Next we'll have the exports update SO status. So I will take the ID from the request pattern, status from the request body, and provided the ID and status to the update status, and here it will update the sales order status. Next, the remaining one is the delete. So the export delete SO, and for the delete SO we have to check it's not confirmed, only the draft sales order can't be deleted. So here I will make the condition only draft SO can be deleted. So if the status is not equal to draft, then we'll throw error, and if it's draft, then we'll delete it. So our controller is ready. Next I'll go to the routes. So let's clear it, and in the routes I'll create the so dot routes dot case, and like the product routes I will have the express router, auth middleware, rpack middleware. So I'll copy it and paste here. Next we'll have from the controller like the const create is, so first import it, and next will require controller SO controller, and would have the create SO, delete SO, get SO by ID, get SOs, update SO, and update APO status. And next I'll put the routes like we put in the products router.post router.post slash auth middleware, rpack middleware, admin and purchase manager can create SO. And next we'll have the get SO where I just need the auth middleware. If the user is logged in, have the token, we can fetch the sales orders and get by ID. Admin and purchase can get a SO by ID. So I'll not put right now the RWAP for the read. Next we'll have the put the update and delete. Only admin can delete. And patch call will have and next we'll export the router dot module dot export router. It's good. Next I will go to the index.js, and here I'll define the SO routes, SO items routes. You don't need router.use sales order issue routes. So our coding is completed. Next task, we have to add all the sales orders into the Swagger documentation, the api.yml file, and next we will test all the routes, and we will test and debug uh, by using the Swagger. I have written the Swagger or the OpenAPI spec or the sales order. You can see we have the sales order here, and we have the post, create sales order, get sales order, list, get sales order by ID, all the in KPIs. Now I will start the server and build whatever we write for the sales order. So the command is the npm start. So you can see it started successfully listening on the port 3000, client Redis client connected, and the database connection is also established. Now I'll go to browser and access our Swagger UI. So the endpoint is localhost 3000/API docs. Now, so we have the purchase order, and you can see we have the sales order routes here. So first we have the create sales order. It will be like this: the request body, next get all sales order. We have the update sales order, and the update the status of the sales order. So far so good. Next, I'll try to create the sales orders. So I'll log in with the sales manager and we'll get the token and authenticate. Next, I'll retrieve the sales order. Let's see. Execute. Error retrieving the sales order 500. Let's see. So here we have the 500. So I'll go to the route, get sales order. Here I will put the breakpoint, and here I will put the breakpoint. Next, I am stopping the server. I will start in the debug mode. So it started in the So it started. Started in the debug mode. Next, I'll try it. And here, let's see the sales order, sales items. Next, we have the error like this. The sales items, the sales order ID does not exist. So we have to fix the query, the sales order. Let me go here. Sales items. So let me see the sales items tables. What we have here, the sale ID. So here sales items dot sale. Instead of the sale funnel ID, it will be the sale ID. So let me copy the sale ID and paste over here and try this route. So retrieve all sales orders. We have here and here. Let's execute this. Still have issue. Like the sales order, the customer ID does not exist. So let me check the sales order dot customer ID /t sales orders. So here we have the buyer ID. We don't have the customer ID. So here sales orders dot buyer ID and the users dot ID. Let's try again. Now we have the value and you can see we don't have any data right now. So select star form sales orders. We don't have any row. So I will continue and here I'll get as expected empty array. So it's giving me the 200. So it's retrieved successfully, but we don't have the value right now in the sales order table. So now I'll create the sales order. Like with this payload, I'll provide the buyer ID, currency ID, notes, terms, status, and the sales items. So let me check the products. We have select star from products. So we have the products like we can put 101 here, quantity rate, unit ID. Let's try it out. I want to send one more sales item here. So I just copy it. And here product ID, I put 102. Let's see where ID in 101, 102. So here 101 we have the product 96, 102 product 97. I try those quantity 5, quantity 10, 30.5. Let's check the units. So select star from units. So 3 we have liter. So I can use 1 and also check select star from currency. So number 4 is the INR. So I'll go here. So I'll put the unit ID 1 and the currency ID 4 for the Indian rupees. Now let's try with this payload. Let's execute. And one we have the 403 here. You don't have permission to access this resource. So let's see what we have here for the create sales order. So if you see the purchasing manager can create a so if I show you the sales order flow here, the customer place order, sales manager create sales order. So the sales manager and the admin can create the sales order. So let me check the roles /the users. So here will be the sales manager. We have to fix it. So instead of the purchase manager, it will be the sales manager. For the sales order, it will be sales manager. So I fixed that. Next, I'll go here and I will try to create it. Execute. We have the 500 error. So let's add breakpoint to see what is happening here. Create SO. So I put one breakpoint here. I put another breakpoint here and I'll put another breakpoint here. So let's execute again. And here, let's see our payload buyer ID. So here in the create SO, you can see we have the buyer ID 1, currency ID 4, notes, terms, status, and the sales items. So let me show you the sales items. We have whatever we are sending. We have those two sales items you can see here. Next, the request user ID. So requested user ID is the 9. Next, I'll go to the SO data. If you see the SO data buyer ID created by currency ID, note status and terms, and the line items. So we have the two line items. It's good. Next, the total amount. The total amount is 407.5. It's also okay. The quantity 5, 20 into 5, 20.5, 300. So it's okay. The calculation is correct. Next, I'll go to the model. So creates here we have the line items. Here it's undefined. So the line items we have and the ISO data. We have the line items and the ISO data. Next, I'll go to the transaction sales order insert ISO data. And here we have the error like insert into sales order and the relation sales orders does not exist. So let me check here. /tt. We have the sales orders. Sales orders. So here you can see the created by column is not present there. But we need the created by. So let me check /t sales orders. So I will create open new terminal here and I will write the migration script for the alter sales order tables. So the next migrate :make alter sales order table. So I have to change the directory to the database and I have to execute this. Here you can see it's added here. So here I will write the test script for this alter sales orders table add created by column foreign key reference reverse table. So here it is. So you have the sales order. Uh, so I will alter the table. So I will add the created by. Next, run it. The command is the next migrate colon latest. And it ran the migrations. Now let's check the sales orders schema. And here you can see we have the created by, and here the created by foreign key reference users. Now let's check this. Let's check the routes again. So I'll execute again. I'll go here. Next the total amount. Next I'll continue. And here we have the SO data. So SO data buyer ID created by currency ID, notes, status, terms, and total. So here I will execute. Still have issue. Insert or update on table sales order highlight foreign key constant sales order buyer ID. So the SO data buyer ID. Buyer ID 1. Let me check the select star from users. So if you see, we don't have 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the buyer ID will be the customer. So 10 I have to put. Let's restart it and change the payload here. So here it will be buyer ID will be 10. It's not able to find the buyer ID, whatever the buyer ID we are sending, it's not able to find this in the database. So in the database, we have the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's why it throws error that it highlights the foreign key reference. So let's execute it. Go here, continue. Let's check the SO data. Now we check the SO data. We have the buyer ID 10 created by 9. Created by 9 means it's the sales manager. Next is successfully inserted. You can see it's executed this line and we have the ID 2. Let me check here. Sales order. Select start from sales order. We have still 0 rows because it didn't committed yet the sales order whatever posted after this line it will be inserted into the database. So next I'll go to the sales order ID. We have the line items. So here we have the issue. So the column sales order ID of relation sales items does not exist. So let's check the line items here. I'll expand it. Line items. Now let's see the schema for the sales items. So slash d sales items. So here we have the sale ID. So we have to provide the sale ID. Over here. For the line items, we don't have the sales ID here. So instead of the sales order ID, it will be the sale ID. So let me put here the sale ID. Let's execute again. Here we have the bar I2 and create SO data. SO and the line items. Now check the line items. So we have the cell ID right now. So let's check. So you can see it's past this line. Now I'll commit this. So it's committed, return SO. Let's check the database. Select star from sales order. So you can see we have the sales order and sales items. Sales items, it should be 2 row. So you can see we also have the sales items. So it's good now. We successfully created the sales order. Next, I'll go here and check the response 201. It's successfully created, and here is the response. Now try to fetch the sales order. Get all sales order. Execute. Go here. I can remove the breakpoint now and continue. Here we have the sales orders retrieved successfully. Here we have the, so you can see this, it's we have the 2 sales order, but actually we have 1 sales order. So one contains the sales items product 96 and another product 97, but we have to get in one response. So I'll go here and here I'll change it, the query. So here I will array aggregate the sales items. So array aggregate the sales items. So if I array aggregate the sales items, let's missing. So there it is. Now let's check it. Execute. So let's put breakpoint here and execute again as we are getting the 500. Restart the server. It's restarted. Let's execute. So it's restarted. Let's execute it. And here we have, let's execute. And here we have the sales order. Sales items dot price does not exist. So let me check the query here. The sales items dot price, the sales item, quantity rate. So instead of the price, we have the rate. So name quantity and it will be date. So let's execute again. Here it is. And we have the return value. So we have the data right now. So you can see we have the sales orders details and here we have the line items in the array. So let's continue and check here. So here you can see we have in well structure way. Here we have the sales order, and here we have the sales order items, line items, product 96 and product 97. So it's good. So similarly for the get sales order by ID, we have to apply. But here we have just put the where condition, this one. So I'll copy it. I'll paste over here. And here I just put this where condition. Let after left join, I'll put the where condition and I'll remove it. And now let's check this route. Get sales order by ID. We have the ID 3. Let's copy it and sales order. Try it out. 3 execute, and here you can see I'm getting the response, the sales orders, and here we have the line items. Next thing we have to update the sales order. So here we have, so I'll copy the payload from here and I'll check the update sales order here, try it out. We have the ID 4 and here I'll paste over. So here the product ID, instead of the 101 and the 102, I'll change it to the 1 and 2. And here the buyer ID 10, currency ID 4, required update its name. So let's execute. So let's debug this. I'll go here, close others, and inside the put sales order update SO. So I'll put breakpoint here. Let's execute. And here we have the breakpoint. Let's check the status. So the status is undefined here. So we have the get by ID. So if I check the data, here we have the status. So let me change like that, like the data, and here data dot, if the data is present, so I will check the status. Now let's see. Data is already been defined, so here I can take the SO sales order and SO dot status. Let's restart it. Now let's execute. And here we have the SO. But the SO is undefined. So get by ID. So let me check the sales order ID. So it's 3, it's not 4. That's why it's not working. So it's 3. Let's execute. You can see we have the SO right now. So if you see here the SO, we have the array. So it will be like ISO 0 and ISO dot length greater than 0. Next, I'll execute. Here we have the ISO array, and the ISO dot length greater than 0 and the ISO status. ISO 0 dot status. Here it's pending. So we have the pending, not dropped. So let me check it. The pending. Let me change it to the pending. So if it's pending, then only we can update it. When it will confirm, we can't update the sales order. So here it is, execute. So here it goes to the sales order update, and the data we have line items does not exist. So for the update here, so we have to first, so here first we have to remove sales items and insert the sales items. Next, update the sales orders table. The update should be like this. So here you can see it will be like this. The line items with the ISO data. So first it will delete all the remove existing sales orders, and next it will insert the sales items, and next it will update. So here let's try now. Update ISO, execute. Here we have the ISO. So instead of the draft, it will be pending. Execute. Line items and the ISO data we have. Next I'll go here. It will remove all existing sales items. Next, let's check it's affected or not. It's not affected because we have the transaction. So after this line execution, it will be it will make change in the database. So line items, insert into sales items. So sales items product ID violation. So let me check the product ID. Select star from products. Seems that we don't have the product 1 and 2. That's why it's throwing error. So if you see, we have the 2, 5. So I'll put 2 and 5 here. So instead of 1, 2, 2 and 5. Next, execute again. And here I'll go to the line items. So if I check the line items, we have the product ID 2 and the product ID 5. Next, I will go here. Sales items executed. Update sales order. We have also like the relation sales orders does not exist. So here, order update sales order set buyer ID. The column updated head of the relation does not exist. So let me check here. Slash details orders. So we don't have the updated head. So we need to put. So I'll go here. So cd database alter sales orders add updated by updated at February. So if you want to alter the tables, you can like this. So add column updated add and the sales orders table and default to current timestamp. So we put the updated at next run the migration. Next migrate latest. It ran the migration. Let's check here slash details order. We have the updated at. So updated at we have the default value. We don't need to send it. So whenever there will be update, it will automatically update it at. So let me check the select star from sales orders. There it is. Next execute it. Execute. And there's line items. And here we have the sales items updated. So and it's executed. Now I'll commit. And here you can see it's committed. Next check the sales orders. So here you can see it's updated 315 and it didn't change the updated ad, so we have to put the updated ad manually. So I'll put the updated app and we'll execute again. Execute. It's just and here sales order updated successfully. Now check. So you can see the updated ad changed. So we have while we are inserting the records, that's when only the default value will be applied, and whenever we'll update, we have to make it to the current timestamp. So here you can see it's updated, and now let's check the sales items. Sales items. So let me show you whatever was there in the sales items. So sales items, there was the one product ID 101102. We change it to we change it to 2 and 5. So let's check if it's reflected correctly or not. Sales item, you can see the product ID 2 here and product ID 5 here. Now let's check from the get sales order by ID. sales order by ID to report. And here you can see we have the defined product price now, the wireless headphone thing. Let's pop. Previously it was the weird name like the product something number, but right now we have it. So the update product routes is working as expected. Next, I will change the status. So sales order we have 3 here, and I will add the status. Let me check the status. What status we have? First is sales orders. We have the pending, preparing. So I'll make it preparing. Execute, and it's executed successfully. Let's check the sales orders. Let's start from sales order, and here you can see it's preparing. You can also check from here the sales order by ID. It was pending, now execute it, and here it's preparing. Now if I try to update it, it will give me error. First let me remove the breakpoint. Here, and next I'll go here and the execute the update sales order. It's not pending, so it should throw error to execute. So here we can see error updating the sales order. So let me put the breakpoint and see if it's correctly landed here or not. So let me execute again. So here you can see we have the SO. The SO status, it's preparing, now execute, and here you can see it's landed here. The throw new aircraft SO cannot be updated, and next it throws the error. But here it's giving me the message error updating. It says code by ID. So let's pick here the SO controller, update the SO, return error response here, make it adoptive. I can make it error dot message. If error present, then error. Otherwise, put this error, the error updating sales codes, self order. Now let's see. Execute. Continue. Have the message. It's true. But error response message. Response and the message logger dot error. So if error the this And here also I'll check error but status. Status otherwise 500. So let's check now. So here we have the perfect message now. Only draft SOS can be updated. Next I'll check the delete sales orders. So I'll go here, I'll write out 3, execute. So I don't have permission to this resource. I have to log in with the admin. So admin@gmail.com. Grab the token here. Authorize, log out first, then authorize with the admin, and next execute the delete. So sales order delete, not deleting sales order. So let me debug it also. Delete so here we have the status draft can only be deleted. So here and I will go to the delete so and I will return response like this so that I can get the exact message or the exact error message. Now I'll go here and I will execute. We have the breakpoint. So here you can see only draft SO can be updated. So let's update to draft. So status healthy pending. Execute status updated. Let's check the status right now. So we have the pending status and here for the delete it will be pending, not draft. Now execute it. Have the breakpoint. It's still so here like the update is so column sales order ID does not exist. So it will be the sale ID. Sorry, it is the sales ID. Now let's execute it. Sales order not found because the sales order. Let me check here. Sales order deleted. Sales items deleted. So all are deleted, but why we are getting the sales order not found? So here we have the sales order. So here if you see we have after execution we are checking the sales order, but it shouldn't be the case. So first we have to check the sales order. So from here we can put like this: if sales order not found. Well, sales order not found here. We have to check, and from the controller I'll delete this. From the model itself I'll throw here. So it's working, but yeah, so if I want to delete we don't have any sales order. So it's perfect right now. The sales order not found. Let me create another sales order. Execute the sales order created. The ID is 6. Let me show you the sales order and the sales order item, sales order and the sales items. So we have the sales order and the sales items. Next, execute it. Execute the sales order not found. The ID is 6. So let's just execute it. And here it's the sales order deleted successfully. Now check the database. Sales order nodo, sales items nodo. And now if I try to same, it will give me the error sales orders not found. So all are working as expected. So I'll wrap up here our detailed walkthrough for the implementing the sales order system in our inventory management application. So we started understanding the sales order flow today from customer placing order to the final payment processing. We looked at the all the routes hands-on by debugging through the Swagger. And in the VS Code, we debug all this. We designed the robust and scalable database schema. And we moved on the building sales order API step by step. We also explored the Swagger Open API, which is crucial for collaborating with the front-end teams or external developers. So if you found this video helpful, make sure to like, comment and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to share this with your dev friends. In the next video, we'll dive into the generating invoice and managing payments. Until then, keep building and keep learning.